Hello YouTube, Marielle here. Today I would like to talk about objectification and how I got myself into that situation with my wolf. And the way it started for me is that I've very early on, I would say probably maybe 5 years into our relationship, I realized that my wolf had an extreme need to look good, to be perceived, no, to look good, not and there again there is a contradiction. He never cared about the way he dressed himself, never. That wasn't his issue. He was happy with the jean and t-shirts and very, very simple way of dressing, and he was fine with that. But his need to look good was in people's perception of him, which is, now that I'm talking about it, I realize it's about seeing him as being, he needed people to see him as up there kind of thing. Even though I was aware of it, I didn't mind. To me, it was more a case of, I think this is one of the very first thing with him that started to make me realize that he was insecure. At least that's how I perceived it. That's how I took that behavior, that he was insecure. And since I loved him and since I cared for him, I did not have, to me, there was nothing negative about that kind of behavior, of that need, because to me, I've always been somebody that's quite accepting of other people and the way they are, and unless they are dangerous, unless they are too much, to me, as long as it doesn't affect me, or as long as I perceive that it doesn't affect me, I just don't mind. People are who they are, and we all are very, very different. We all have our different quirks and differences and ways to cope and go on in life. So I never judged. To me, there was nothing wrong with that. If anything, I did what I could to reassure him, or to cater actually to that need of his, because I wanted him to feel good and better about himself. So much so that when I caught him, when I'll catch him competing with me, I didn't see it as a red flag. I just thought, look at him, that's so him, and move on. So much so that when, at times I'll catch him as well presenting my ideas, my opinions, and things that I would talk to him about in private. When I say in private, basically having a conversation with him, a random conversation with him, to which he would never say anything. And sometimes I'll, because he never participated, he never gave any kind of feedback, sometimes, I'll leave the conversation, or the conversation, it's not even a conversation, it's always me talking, but in my head it was a conversation, and thinking, oh, he's just such a good listener. So sometimes I'll leave those kind of conversation just kind of feeling not unsettled, but I had started to feel like I must be stupid, and then that what I was saying was just so stupid and so beneath his intelligence that, you know, of course he will not pay attention to what I'll say. Of course he will not give me a feedback, because that is just so blah 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 blah, such rubbish to somebody like him. Because you have to understand as well that for me, you know, my education level is blip, whereas he has a degree. So, you know, automatically I would say that, of course, you know, he's so much more intelligent than I am, therefore my kind of conversation cannot appeal to him. But then the funny thing is, I'll later on, you know, so I'll feel bad, but the funny thing is later on I'll catch him presenting my ideas or talking about what I said to him and presenting it in such a way that as if he actually came from him. And it happened very, very often, and at first I didn't think much of it. I was surprised, and then I actually kind of felt a little bit proud, and I thought, oh, so actually, you know, what I'm saying does make sense. And then it took a long time before I started to feel like, but overall, I would just, you know, after a long time, I started to kind of laugh it off. I really just ended up just laughing it off and just thinking, you know, in my head, that man is so silly. And then moving on and not thinking anything of it. And then from that, there will be that he will start saying how he always wanted to show me off. You know, I'll be dressed a certain way. One of the ways that I like to dress, I like dresses, and I like baggy dresses. And he always said to me, oh, come on, you know, put on something, you know, put on a belt or something, you know, I want to show you off. Or, you know, or he'll go and say, oh, come on, you know, put on that pair of jeans, you know, stop wearing those long shirt and long t-shirt, you know, I can't see your behind, you know, I want to show you off. I would usually resist and, you know, just kind of because it's just the way I like to dress, and, you know, but, you know, sometimes I want to please him, so I will do what he, you know, what he asked of me. And this is one of the things that I would like to, if I may, I would like to openly say, this is why I have a hard time when I read books or I hear gurus or other people mentioning how people like me have something within us, something within our background that made us target for this kind of abuse. Because I'm saying that simply because, just like I said, when it comes to like, you know, his need to look good and his need to want to show me off, in a normal relationship, in any normal relationship, couples, don't they get involved into wardrobe choices? Don't they even argue over it? I think that's kind of normal, isn't it? And how do you then differentiate between an abuser like my wolf, who uses that in a very, very particular way? Because you see, it's easy when you have an overt aggressor, an abuser who controls his partner through clothes by telling them, you know, you look like such and such, and trying to make you feel bad about your choice of clothes. And that is so obvious. But with the kind of person, aggressor that I have, who's so covert, there is no way of seeing it as a bad thing. I mean, if I was to take this conversation or this complaint to a normal person who has always had normal relationship, I mean, they'll think I'm crazy. They will go, here is a woman who's complaining because her husband wants her to show her assets, want her to show her goodies. What's wrong with her? That man loves her so much, he's so proud of her, and he just wants to show her off. What's wrong with her? So it sounds crazy, but yet, this is a definite, now that I'm aware, now that I know, and now that I've read enough, this is a definite passive-aggressive move that has so many layers attached to it, and that has nothing to do with wanting to make me feel good. It has nothing to do with me. So it's so hard to make that difference with those kind of abusers, with those covert abusers, between what they do and a normal relationship, between the breakdown of a relationship with a covert abuser and a normal relationship. Because in any other normal relationship, when it's over, it goes through the same phase, you know. You're getting mad, you don't talk to each other, you don't pay attention to each other, you stop doing the things that you used to do together, the kind of thing that used to please both of you. And so it almost follows the same path. But then to turn that around and say that, because you had a dysfunction, or because there's definitely nothing wrong with my past. There's nothing wrong with my character. There's nothing wrong with who I am. But there's something wrong, definitely, with my husband. Because that wasn't just a genuine it wasn't what he was doing with me when it came to dressing. It had nothing to do with wanting to show me off. That was one of his tactics, a slow moving covert attacks that are so profound, and they escalate at such small increment over the years that you're being manipulated in such a way you just don't even realize you're being groomed, you're being manipulated. And one of the things that quite painful now is for me to realize that basically he has managed over the years to make me participate in my own abuse by accepting the crazy things he did, by accepting his personality, whatever those defaulting character traits that I would see, but he'll present them in such a way that I thought it was acceptable and I thought it was okay. And so it really hurts, because it's a case of he makes me willingly participate in my own abuse, and then he makes me want to foster that need to want to make him happy. So he wins on so many levels. when he gets me to accept it, to accept the behavior, he wins. Whenever he accepts me to participate in it, because that means I participate, he wins. Whenever I engage into accepting that, he wins. And then whenever I do what, it's just on and on and on and on and on. And me, the victim or the target in this, are so clueless, because no, there is no way I would have thought that this was somebody with ill intentions towards me. This is somebody who's supposed to love me. This is somebody who's I'm supposed to trust. I mean, this is why I married him. I didn't go into a marriage thinking that I was going to take advantage of him. I didn't think that, so of course I trusted him. And no, that does not make me naive. And this is when I talk about objectification, and him objectifying me. Here's an example of something that happened. We've been together now for 21 years, and I've always been quite careful. I don't know why, but I kind of, with all the things that, I heard on the news and people and pictures and photos and nude photos and all. So I've always been quite careful, instinctively, just like you just never know. Even if something could happen by accident. So I've always been very careful. But, we just had passed our 20th wedding anniversary. So I started to relax. Just like, come on, we've been together for so long now. Our children are now grown and they're on their way out, and I just wanted to celebrate. I just wanted to make him happy. So, he started to come home from his travels with kinky things for me to wear, and then I'll go, and I'll call those things trashy clothes or something, and he'll say to me, don't call that trashy clothes. Those are sexy clothes. Don't. And he'll say that, and I'll say, and I'll laugh, and I'll be laughing, and I'll be like, oh, I can't believe you're making me wear those, and he'll just say, don't say that, this is sexy clothes. And he'll say it in such a way, I did end up feeling like, I've got to take it easy. Me and my sense of humor, I'm actually offending him. I mean, hear what I'm saying. I actually felt like he was offending me. So he'll make me wear those things, and he started to take pictures, and and you'll go, oh, you look good in it, oh, you look great, oh my god, and and take pictures. I was in a good mood. We were alone. We're always out. I am always with my children, and the children were, my son had already gone to study, in a different country. My daughter was on holiday somewhere, so I was relaxed and I was happy. And I started wearing, he'll say, wear this and wear that, and then he'll started taking me places, having, clothes that normally I wouldn't wear. Even once, he wanted to go and eat something not too far from where we live, and I, wanting to please him, I put on some quite revealing clothes, daylight and all. I just felt kind of brave, and I really just wanted to please him. And my daughter was there, and oh, she got so mad. I mean, she really got on her dad's face and said, I can't believe you're letting her dress like that. She was so mad. And my husband, with that smirk, now I know it's a smirk, but that smile that they always have, That was full on. And quite frankly, I was laughing at my daughter, and I was like, oh, don't you worry, you know, because in my head I'm thinking, well, this is my husband, I'm trying to please him, and blah, blah, blah. And off I went. And that was before I came across the information revealing my husband's true identity. And as I searched online, I came through one of Dana Thrive After Abuse videos, and in one of them she describes how people like that can push your boundaries on purpose, and they can make you wear things pretending to like it, but with the only and the sole objective of humiliating you, pushing your boundaries, humiliating you, and laughing at your expense. I could not believe it. I could not believe it. And this is what happened. I paused the video while I was watching Dana. I paused the video and I laughed and I laughed and I laughed. I couldn't believe it. I just laughed. And then somewhere, somehow, out of nowhere, I started howling. I started crying. I broke down. I fell on the floor. I was screaming. And I couldn't stop it. My daughter was there and she got scared. And I didn't see my reaction coming. It was hard. It was hard. It was beyond shocking. I could not stop myself. I was just heaving. I was howling. I was crying. I was heaving. I had tears and snot just pouring out of me. And this is somebody I love. This is somebody I trust. This is somebody I've been with for so many. That's 2 decades. I've been with him longer than I've been with my own family of origin. This is somebody I've had children with. So no, that has nothing to do with me being weak. That has nothing to do with me being naive. In a normal relationship, after a while, even at the beginning, wouldn't you just relax and let that happen to try to please your partner? And yes, all of this time he's been objectifying me because I mean nothing to him. I am nothing more than a bug in the jar. He's using me for his own entertainment. This had nothing to do with me or him loving me. That was him using me for his own entertainment. Even recently, there was an event we were supposed to go to, and I wanted to dress appropriately for the occasion, and he was trying to force me to wear a really snug and revealing outfit. and I had to choose appropriate shoes to go with the dress, and he wanted me to wear some really long high heels, super long high heels shoes, to which I kept saying to him, I'm not comfortable, I really don't feel comfortable, and it's been such a long time since I wore anything this high. And he kept saying, no, oh my God, you look so graceful, you have no idea. And he would say that in such a way that it looked like even as if he acted offended for me to resist him and want to stick to my own instinct. I mean, talking about a mind screw, a complete and total, and you can't see it coming. I mean, there's no aggression in that. And he's doing that on purpose just so that I look bad. Because if I had gone into that event dressed the way he wanted me to dress, it would have been completely inappropriate. I would have felt very bad, and other people would have thought very bad of me, and on top of that I would have felt extremely uncomfortable with the shoes he wanted me to wear. And all of that was him setting me up to get his narcissistic supply by objectifying me and by making me participate in my own abuse. Crazy stuff, right?